Hey, this is Scott. Today we're going to take a look at the Sennheiser MKE 440 on-camera shotgun microphone. So this is a shotgun microphone, but it's quite different from others like the Rode Videomic Pro because it's actually two microphones mounted together to get you a true stereo signal. In terms of sound, this means that you're going to get a lot more of your surroundings in there with you, and this might be good in some situations and not in others. If you're in an empty, echoey room, for example, then there's really no benefit to get that surrounding sound in there. But if you're outside or if you're at some event where you really want to place yourself in that situation, it might be really nice to have this option. I really don't think that anybody will be choosing this microphone or passing on it, more importantly, because of its build quality, but let's just take a quick look at what features are on there. This feels really solid and is mostly metal. The hot shoe mount foot is plastic, but it feels pretty good, and it also has a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom. The cable comes out of the front, which is probably a good thing because it's not detachable, and this design protects it a bit more when you throw it in a bag or something. There are 3 switches on the side, controlling the power, the input level, and the low cut settings. The power switch will light up when it's turned on to help against accidentally leaving it on when you finish recording, or not realizing that the power is off when you are recording. On the back, there's a battery door which is easy to open, and you'll power this with 2 AAA batteries. They claim a pretty long life of around 100 hours, but you'll only get a low battery warning when you're down to a few hours left, so it's not a bad idea to carry some extras on you. There's no external shock mount because the mics themselves are shock mounted inside the metal casing. This does make it easy to pack into a bag as well, with nothing extra to worry about on the outside. In terms of build quality, I'd give this a 10 out of 10 and probably an 8 or 9 in design. I would love to see a rechargeable battery design like the new Videomic Pro Plus, and a detachable and interchangeable cable would be great as well. An XLR design to work with something like the new GH5 XLR adapter would be useful as well, but all of these things would just be icing on the cake, and there really is very little to complain about with this mic. So in terms of audio quality, you should be able to hear it right now because I am using the MKE 440. I have it attached to a 5D Mark IV, and I'm about 2 meters away from the camera at the moment. I have the microphone set to +20 decibels and the in-camera audio is down about 50 or 60%. Now you're hearing the audio from the Rode Videomic Pro Plus, which I have mounted on another 5D Mark IV right next to it. So I have all the settings exactly the same and everything should be the same. The Rode Videomic Pro Plus is also at +20 decibels with identical audio settings in the camera. I do have the dead cat on the Sennheiser, not on the Rode, because at the moment I couldn't find a dead cat for the Rode Videomic Pro Plus, and it's supposed to be built to have better wind protection just as it is anyway. Now once again, this is the Sennheiser MKE 440, and this is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus. So with a microphone like this, I'm sure a lot of people will be using it for vlogging, so you'll be a little bit closer to the microphone in that case. And I have the volume turned down a little bit more in camera. Still, this is on +20 with the microphone, and this is what it's going to sound like when you're at a vlogging distance. Vlogging will also typically be in a bit more of a noisy environment, so that's where I am now. There's people, there's cars, and this is how my voice will sound kind of in that environment. Again, with the MKE 440, you should be getting more of that environment in there with my voice together. So just to get a little bit more of a feel for how that kind of environment blends in my voice, I'm gonna just turn the camera around slowly now and keep talking, and you'll see how this kind of gets my voice together with the sound around it as I talk from the side and also from the back. So now I'm turning it around slightly, and you can probably see which direction it's pointing just from how the camera's moving. And now this is with me directly behind the microphone, and then it's going to keep going, and I'm coming around the other side, and now I'm about on the side of it, and now I'm back in the front of it. So you can kind of hear, I hope, how the environment and my voice mix from different angles around the microphone. So now this is the Sennheiser MKE 440 with the low cut filter turned on. It's not quite as windy as it was yesterday, so I don't know if it'll make as much of a difference as it would have yesterday. And now this is the Sennheiser MKE 440 with the low cut filter turned off. This is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus, vlogging style, so we're going to have it at a closer distance. I did notice yesterday that the Rode seemed a little bit louder, so I have the volume in camera turned down a bit lower than I did for the Sennheiser. Hopefully they'll both kind of balance out, but you'll see how it sounds here. Again, this is at vlogging distance, so pretty close, and I have the microphone set at +20 decibels with, on this case, the camera set as low as it can go, the in-camera audio. This is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus with the low cut filter set on 75 decibels. This is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus with the low cut filter on 150 decibels. So the Rode Videomic Pro Plus is not designed to get as much of the environment in there with my voice like the Sennheiser is, but just for comparison purposes, I'm just going to turn the camera around again and keep talking to see how it sounds when I'm talking at it from different angles. So now I'm talking at it straight ahead, and I'm slowly turning it, and now I'm talking to it basically from the side. As I keep turning it, now I'm coming around the back, and now I'm directly behind it, and now I'm going to keep turning it and talking to it at the side again. So this is basically 90 degrees. And as I come around, this is once again the normal position where I'm straight in front of the camera. So this is another situation that I think a lot of people will find them in with this kind of microphone, just sitting at home with it on the desk, talking to the camera for some kind of vlog or YouTube video. Again, you're pretty close here, so I have the Sennheiser right now on plus 20 decibels, and the in-camera audio is pretty far down. I don't have any low-cut filter or anything like that turned on. I'm in just a quiet room, and there's nothing special about this room audio-wise, so it's not going to sound amazing, but again, you can see how they sound side by side. There's not really anything else going on around me, so we'll see if there's a significant difference in this situation between the Sennheiser and the Rode Videomic Pro. So now this is the Rode Videomic Pro Plus, and we're in the same situation, on the same distance from the camera, we're in the same quiet room, and I only have changed the in-camera audio to turn it down a little bit lower because the Sennheiser is actually a little bit quieter of a microphone than the Rode is. I thought that might just be with the dead cat on there, but apparently it's not. Even without the dead cat in this kind of situation, the Sennheiser does come in a little bit quieter. Something that's pretty cool about the Sennheiser being a little bit quieter than the Rode is that you can still use the plus 20 decibel setting on the microphone and use it with a camera like the Panasonic GH5. The audio levels in the GH5 and GH4 and G7, for example, don't go down quite as low as they do on the Canon cameras, so when you're using the Rode and you have the plus 20 decibel settings on, it's actually too loud for a Panasonic camera, generally speaking, depending on how far you are away, but with this Sennheiser, it's actually pretty much a perfect level for this kind of vlogging distance with the plus 20 setting on. So what you're hearing now is the Sennheiser MKE 440 on the GH5 with the MKE set to plus 20 decibels and the audio in the GH5 set as low as it can go, which is minus 12. Okay, so I didn't test the minus 10 decibel setting because that's mostly going to be when you're in a really loud environment and you need to pull that audio back a little bit more. I don't really have that situation to put it in right now, but I think in general you should be able to hear the difference in audio quality between these. I think they're both going to be great. I'll give my opinion down at the bottom of the screen when I get back to the computer and listen to it. But I really think that it's going to be a decision of that, difference in design, where you can hear your surroundings a bit more with the Sennheiser, or you have a bit more of a single direction type microphone with the Rode Videomic Pro Plus. Of course, there are other microphones as well, but most of the other ones are going to be similar to the Rode Videomic Pro Plus. This is quite unique, and I think if you like the sound that it gets, then you definitely should get it because there's no other reason not to. Of course, I will have links to both of these microphones down in the description below, so please check those out if you want to see more information. If you have any questions or comments, then leave them down there as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you liked this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to see more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching.